This recording is an educational lecture about the nature of reality and ways to change it through working with consciousness. The speaker explains the concept of a three-level structure of reality, where the physical world is only a reflection of more subtle energetic layers. The main idea is that reality is formed not from the outside, but from within a person through their energetic emission. The speaker claims that ancient initiates knew the secret of the etheric blueprint, an invisible layer from which physical reality materializes. Before events occur in the material world, they are formed as energetic clusters in a person's etheric space. The lecturer describes the matrix as a neutral 3D printer of reality that prints a person's life according to the file uploaded into their subconscious. The matrix is neither good nor bad, it is absolutely precise and reflects what a person emits at a deep level. The quantum field is presented as an ocean of infinite possibilities, where all versions of a person's destiny already exist. The speaker identifies three levels of interaction with the reality system. Upon lives in reaction, without understanding the mechanism, automatically responding to external events. A player begins to understand the principles and tries different techniques, but gets unstable results. A creator fully understands the mechanism and works directly with the etheric blueprint, allowing reality to reorganize automatically. The key principle of how the matrix works is that it reflects not what a person says or does on the surface, but what they emit at a deep level. 95% of the emission comes from the subconscious, from deep programs running on autopilot. The matrix reads the average frequency, a dominant signal that sounds constantly. The lecturer explains the mechanism of signal amplification through resonance with the collective field. When a person emits a certain frequency, it resonates with similar signals from millions of other people, becomes many times stronger, and returns in the form of material events. The matrix does not distinguish between I want and I don't want, it only reacts to frequency. The practical part includes a three-step transformation algorithm. The first step is learning to stop old automatic reactions by creating a pause between an event and a reaction. This is the entry into the 0 point, a moment of pure potentiality from which a new reaction can be created. The second step is clearing space by working with subconscious programs and deactivating them. The third step is loading new code through a conscious choice of state and emission frequency. The speaker presents the concept of retrocausality, according to which a person's true desires are not whims, but the voice of their future self, which already exists in the quantum field and sends signals into the present. These desires are navigation beacons, threads thrown by the future version of a person to pull them out of their current state. The main practice is called remembering the future and is performed in the morning upon waking, when the brain is in the alpha state. A person should remember their goal as an already accomplished fact, with maximum sensory detail, including all physical sensations. After that, the chemistry of gratitude is activated, which serves as a chemical signature on the order for the subconscious and the matrix. The lecturer emphasizes that being a creator means taking full responsibility for one's reality. When a person understands that the matrix is a mirror of their emission, they can no longer blame external circumstances. Everything in a person's life is created by their thoughts, emotions, and states, consciously or unconsciously. The final part calls for immediate application of the acquired knowledge. The speaker claims that after 40 days of stable emission of a new frequency, a person's life will change dramatically. The matrix is presented not as a prison, but as a canvas on which a person, as an artist, can consciously and skillfully paint their reality. The ancient secret of the etheric blueprint and the nature of reality. The speaker reveals a forgotten ancient secret that reality exists not outside, but in an invisible etheric layer. It is explained how money, people, and events are first formed as energetic clusters in a person's space before materializing in the physical world. Most people try to change the bricks of reality without understanding that they need to work with the blueprint. 3 states of interaction with reality. The lecturer describes 3 levels of understanding the mechanism of reality. Upon lives in reaction without understanding the system, a player begins to understand something and tries techniques, but gets unstable results. A creator fully understands the mechanism and works directly with the etheric blueprint, allowing reality to reorganize automatically. The rules of the great game of consciousness. The speaker explains that life is a complex, multi-layered game in which most players have forgotten that they are in a game. The main rule is that the world reflects what a person emits at a deep level, their internal frequency, vibration, and state that sounds constantly, even when they are not thinking about it. The structure of reality. From cause to effect, the lecturer reveals the three-layer structure of reality's movement from top to bottom. The causal layer, pure intention and will, the etheric layer, information and energy where the blueprint is created, and the physical layer, frozen energy. The physical world is described as very slow light, and it is much easier to change it at the etheric level, where information is still fluid. The mechanism of the matrix is mirror reflection. The speaker explains in detail how the matrix works as an exact mirror reflecting a person's inner state. Examples are given of how one person emits dignity and abundance and sees opportunities, while another emits lack and receives confirmation of that belief. It is emphasized that 95% of the emission comes from the subconscious. The etheric imprint as the blueprint of reality. The lecturer explains the concept of the etheric imprint, an invisible blueprint according to which the matrix prints physical reality. Every event has an etheric shadow. Illnesses appear as dark spots, money as energetic clusters, meetings as probabilities. Most people try to change the physical world while the blueprint remains old. 3 levels of players in the matrix. A detailed description of 3 levels of awareness. A pawn lives on full autopilot, unaware of the game and reacting automatically. A player begins to awaken, tries techniques, but gets unstable results. A creator fully understands the mechanism and works from the source, changing cause instead of effect. The mechanism of signal amplification through the collective field. The speaker explains how individual signals are amplified through resonance with billions of others in the collective field. The matrix catches the signal, multiplies it through resonance with similar frequencies, and returns it as material events. The importance of consistency is emphasized, and the fact that the matrix does not distinguish between I want and I don't want. Practical transformation algorithm. Stopping the old. The first step of the 3-stage algorithm is learning to stop automatic reactions by creating a pause between an event and a reaction. The technique of entering the 0 point is explained. A moment of pure potential from which a new reaction can be created. Specific practices are given. The command stop. 3 seconds of silence and conscious choice of a new state. Observer position and rewriting the subconscious. The second and third levels of practice. Developing the ability to observe oneself from the outside without identifying with emotions and thoughts, and techniques for deactivating old subconscious programs through working with bodily sensations, breathing, and visualization of light. The nature of true desires as the call of the future. The lecturer reveals the concept of retrocausality, explaining that true desires are not whims, but the voice of the future self that already exists in the quantum field and sends signals back into the present. These desires are navigation beacons, are threads for leaving the current state and moving toward a better version of oneself. The remembering the future technique. The main practice, performed in the alpha brain state in the morning. A person should remember their goal as an already accomplished fact with maximum sensory detail, including physical sensations. After that, the chemistry of gratitude is activated, serving as a chemical signature on the order. The responsibility of the creator and the choice of state. The final part about full responsibility for one's reality. When a person understands that the matrix is a mirror of their emission, they can no longer blame external circumstances. It is emphasized that the choice between pawn, player, and creator is made every moment, and after 40 days of stable emission of a new frequency, life will change dramatically. Practice stopping automatic reactions. When an old program activates, say stop. Create 3 seconds of silence and consciously choose a new state. Develop the observer position. Constantly observe yourself from the outside, noting emotions and thoughts without identifying with them. Use the technique for deactivating old programs. Recall the triggering situation, feel it in the body, breathe into that area, inhale light, and exhale the program until the sensation dissolves. Practice remembering the future every morning during the first 20 minutes after waking, for 21 consecutive days without skipping. Write in the comments which idea from the video impacted you the most, and share your insight with others. Start applying the knowledge today. Stop automatic reactions, create pauses, choose a new state, clear old programs, and install new code.